Good day guys, and welcome to this channel once more. Welcome to Architect's Guide. Right, my name is Bright Gira. In Architect's Guide we talk more about Archicad, how to in Archicad, and also architecture. And if there's any question you want to ask, right, you can leave in the comment section below, and please feel free to subscribe to this channel so that you can get more live and in-depth tutorials on how to do things, the simpler and better way to do things on Archicad. Right, so like I said, if you're a newbie here, you just have to click on the subscribe button right down below and subscribe to this channel. Right, so today's video we're going to be talking about elevation. Right, so you can see here on the screen I have an elevation of a work I did recently, so I'm going to be using that to explain for us. And looking at this elevation, you're seeing that it's casting a shadow, right? It's casting a shadow, but then this is on the normal drawing sheet in Archicad, right? So but for us to make this effect, for us to make this work, right, it's very simple. It's very simple. All you have to do is to go back to the model. What I mean by model, the actual drawing, whereby as you're drawing, you're making the drawing, you are begin to edit the exterior part of the. So let me go back to that. This is just the working drawings, right? So I'll go back to this drawing here, right here, right? So this is where I drew the main work, and after that I started working on this the working drawings, right? So this is a presentation drawing actually. So this, you see here, the site, right? So the way for us to do that elevation, right, we have to work with this, right? So let me grab one of these elevation tool here, right? This is for the right elevation, that is let's see what elevation it is. Okay, this is the east elevation. Okay, so like I said earlier, the best way for you to get better tips when it comes in, right, and for you to get more, you just have to sit back and relax and watch, and then you learn. It's very easy. Archicad is very simple to use, right? So I'll grab this elevation tool and I drag it over a little bit to this point. So this is like the main building, and then this is a rented apartment in front of it, right? So I'll right click and then I click on open with current section, with current settings, right? So let me open that. So it opened for us the drawing, the elevation, right, the unedited one. So then I'll now have to teach us how to do that, how to edit. So let me zoom out to see. Okay, it seems here I've already done that. I've already done the settings. I have already done the setting here. Okay, let me go back. I need to use one I haven't used before. Okay, let me create a new elevation. Okay, let me create a new elevation. So all I have to do is to go down to my toolbar, right, and I grab the elevation tool. This is it. Grab the elevation tool and I click and I drag and drop. And I choose my direction facing the front of the building, right? So I click on it. Let me zoom in a bit to see the elevation I just created. So it's called E01, right? So I right click and then click on open with current settings, right? Open with current settings, right? So it will open. So look at this, see the difference. You see the difference in short while. Okay, so you see the difference. This is the unedited version of the elevation I'm talking about, right? So if you are to present this to a client, it will be very impossible for the client to understand what you're saying, right? But then there's a way you can easily, easily to rearrange it and make it look good, like make it presentable for the clients to understand the elevation actually, right? So let's dive into this section. So this is where you can actually do the settings, right, before you now move the drawing to the main page, and then you put it in your title panel and every other thing, and then try to begin to put the details and every other, the trees around it, right? So what I'll do next is I'll right click right? Once you right click, you see this elevation settings. You see elevation settings here. You click on elevation settings, right? Let's come up. Okay, while I'm waiting for this, okay, so it's up. So here you see the general marker symbol and text, model display, story levels, grid tools. Okay, so let me see which of them. Alright, so they have everything. Okay, so what you'll be looking for is the model display. Okay, you'll be looking for the model display. Right, so in the model, let me make it bigger so we can understand. You can see what is going on. Okay, so in the model display, you see high cut elements, fill cut surfaces, and uncut elements, sun shadows. Right, so there are just few things you need to touch here. So let's look at this. Is how it looks. Okay, before I begin to make the settings, begin to make the changes rather. Okay, so let's click this. See. Okay, so the first thing we're going to click here is the fill cut surfaces width, right? So you click on this drop down arrow here, this small arrow, right? And then you see on surfaces, you see on surface colors, shaded. This is non-shaded, and you see the uniform surface, cut surface. So this is where it was initially, right? So what you need to click is my own surface colors, shaded one, right? Shaded one. So this means the color you actually used in the 3D, and that's what it's going to choose for you, right? So on this area, 3D hashing, vectorial 3D hashing, you click on it. Transparency, you uncheck transparency, so it's for you not to make the building to look transparent, right? So you uncheck transparency. Okay, and then for these, said for sun and shadows, right? You see viewpoints, sun settings, right? You can choose as in 3D, right? So the sun direction will be taken in accordance to the settings you're using for the 3D. Let's say on the 3D, the sun is directly facing the front elevation, right? So on this is the front elevation now, so it will be that, okay, the elevation with the sun will be directly facing the building. That is if I'm using the 3D as in 3D. So if I say, okay, I don't want to use the 3D window, I can just click on custom, and I go down to set the the angle of the sun shadow. So when it's casting the shadow on the building, right, to take the 45 degrees settings, right? And then you click on sun shadow, so it will cast the shadow, right? So here you see the hashing. This is the shadow representation, so you can choose any color at all, like, but then shadows on the building is not dark. It's not as dark as, it has to do with, is it tint or gray? Okay, it's grayish color, very light gray. So it's not, let me say, different from using something like making it colorful, but then it has to be gray and something then matching with the color of your building actually, right? So that's all. Let's click OK and see what is going to happen to the building. Let's wait a while. It will begin to load and then make the settings according to what we have chosen, right? So you see here, so it has actually selected and then made the shading. If you see, this is the front, and then this here is the entrance porch, right? So that is why the shadow is casting here a bit much, right? So it's very much here. So you see it's grayish, right? Even on this the concrete facials, you see that it's casting the shadow on the window and everything. So this is the material. Remember, this wall material wasn't here initially, right? So if you look at this, the color here, it's not looking that, it's not white, it's very light, right? So let's look at the 3D window, right? You see that that is somehow the same color we are having here in the 3D window, right? So after doing this, after making these settings, right, you can still go back and then you right click again. If you're not okay with it, you right click and then you click on the elevation settings, right? And also you can still make the adjustments according to what you want, right? You can just choose to play with what you have until you get the better taste and begin to understand, how it works, and make it work better. Even you can still use this same pattern to edit your sections, right? It's since there are no section and elevation, they are somehow the same, because they are showing let's say the 2D, they're both showing the 2D aspect of the window of the building, right? So you can still use this pattern to set the section also, right? So this is as simple as it gets. So let me click OK. So for now I'm done, but then if there's any other thing you would like to choose, just for playing, you can just go wild and then begin to set. You see here the sun shadow has to be tipped, right, to tick, so that you can have the kind of making the drawing look lively as if it's on the paper, right? So printing, when they're printing it out, they have to print it out in colored, so then you appreciate the beauty of the work, right? So that's actually it, right? So for the settings, right, so once you're done with this, all you have to do is to just to crop and copy, Ctrl+C, and then take to your ground floor where you're making the working drawings, actually where your drawing panels are, right? You take it there and then you click and you place it on the wall, on the ground. Let's see. Right, let me zoom out a bit so I can place the drawing in another location. This, I have a slab here, right, for my 3D. Okay, let me push it away from this and I place it somewhere here. Okay, and this is it. Ctrl+V to paste, right? Once it pastes, then I can okay, this way it's pasting. I can drag it down to this point, right? And then I'll begin to do the remaining things. For me, most likely this kind of let's see. Okay, for me, what I will do is to make this the ground line, make it thick black, and then I'll edit this roof, right? I'll edit the roof by clicking I'll click on everything, highlight on everything, and then I Ctrl+Shift+G to separate the work, separate everything, right? When it's grouped, it's very hard to edit, right? So ungroup everything and then begin to pull it out. Let's say, okay, I remove this, or I can still leave it there. Okay, Ctrl+V, Ctrl+Z, rather. Let's leave it there and then I make use of let me go by field. Okay, this is what I want to use, the aluminium vertical, right? So I'll just hold Control Alternative and then I click on it, and then it will begin to appear like this, right? So I will still have to reduce this and then make my 100 away from the roof lining here to show my the coverage for my work, right? So that's it for today's video, right? If you like the video, if you like what I just did now, and if you want to ask questions, right, to get a clearer and better understanding of how to make the settings work for you, right, you can just drop a comment below, right? Please share, comment, and then I'll do my best to reply to these comments. I thank you guys for watching today's episode, right, and I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget, Architect Guide signing out. Thank you guys, and see you next video.